In the past, bonds have been used by conservative investors to generate income in retirement. However, when interest rates are low, bonds can be a risky proposition. The reason that they present a risk is due to the relationship between bond prices and interest rates. When interest rates drop, the prices of bonds increase. Conversely, when interest rates rise, bond prices fall. Long-term bonds are riskier in this respect than short-term bonds. So, in this historically low interest rate environment, what strategies can you employ to invest in bonds without taking on huge risk if interest rates rise? The answer, in my opinion, is to utilize a short-term bond ladder. To illustrate, let's assume you wish to invest $100,000 in a 5-year ladder with bonds maturing between 2018 and 2022. The interest rates are as follows: 2% for 2018 bonds, 3% for 2019, 4% for 2020, 5% for 2021, and 6% for 2022. To build the ladder, you invest $20,000 in each of the 5 rungs. Assuming none of the bonds are defaulted on and that you held them to maturity, you would earn a 4% average rate of return on this portfolio. You may be wondering, what happens when the bonds mature in 2018? Assuming that you don't need the money, the proceeds would be invested in the next rung of the ladder, bonds maturing in 2023. Naturally, I don't have a crystal ball and don't know what interest rates will be at that time. They could be higher or lower. We won't know until then. When building this ladder, what are the things that we need to focus on? First of all, we need to consider the risk of default. That is the risk that the issuer won't pay you back when the bonds mature. There are 2 general classifications of bonds: investment grade and high yield. Investment grade bonds are those that earn high ratings from one of the 3 credit agencies, as shown on this chart. Bonds that have ratings below these are considered high yield. Naturally, most investors would prefer higher rated companies in their bond portfolio. However, because of this, the interest rates on investment grade bonds are substantially lower than high yield bonds. To increase your rate of return, you need to allocate some percentage of your portfolio to high yield bonds. In my opinion, the key to investing in high yield bonds is diversification. I personally use ETFs, exchange traded funds, to do this. ETFs hold a large basket of different bonds so that in the case of default, your losses are limited. The other big advantage of using ETFs is liquidity. What if you have an unexpected emergency? What if you need to cash out your bonds prior to maturity? Since ETFs can be bought and sold in a brokerage account, like a stock, they can be quickly liquidated. It goes without saying that every person has different needs. If you would like for me to build you a custom laddered bond portfolio, please contact me today at 480-503-0050.
This has been a Loki production.